As humans, we seem to have a strange interest in the unusual, frightening, and disturbing. Perhaps this fascination with the macabre is a way to face our fears of our own mortality, the fear that this could happen to us. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 discoveries, events, and instances of humans that have been through unimaginable things. Body found at the bottom of Veryovkina Cave. Back in 2020, a man took on a mammoth challenge, one for which he was, unfortunately, unprepared. It was then in the summer of 2021 that experts embarked on a mission to recover his body safely and provide a final piece of closure both to his story and his grieving family. The body is thought to belong to Sergei Koziv and was about 1,000 meters down, partway through a 1.3-mile drop, suspended in what is thought to be the deepest cave in the world. He had been found on August 3rd, 9 months following his disappearance, when some other cavers spotted the rope nearby the cave's entrance, followed by some of his possessions, and finally stumbling across the man himself. This mission took 100 expertly trained climbers to make their way through Veryovkina Cave in Abkhazia, Georgia. It is believed that he was a tourist looking to take on the cave's adventure, though was not prepared to do so. Furthermore, to venture into a cave that is so dangerous was a poor idea from the outset, demonstrating a strong disregard for safety regulations. We don't know what caused the end of Koziv's life, but ultimately we know it would not have been pleasant. Was it the fall, or was it the result of hypothermia, as temperature in the cave drops to almost freezing conditions? Though it was a complex challenge, the rescue team was able to retrieve the body, having gotten permission from Mr. Koziv's wife. Human remains found in Idaho Cave, identified as outlaw. Some mysteries seem unsolvable, as though we will never find an answer, but then, decades later, we find a solution. Back in 2020, we stumbled across one such answer. A John Doe was found in the Civil Defense Caves in Idaho in both 1979 and 1991, dismembered and headless. The remains have been incredibly well preserved, and experts believe that these remains were placed into the caves back in 1916. The DNA Doe Project, a non-profit group that aims to identify those who have not yet been identified, uses advanced genetic genealogy techniques which, when used in practice, can give some of those Jane and John Does their names and identities back, giving peace, closure, or at least some certainty to their families. It was over a course of 15 weeks and upwards of 2,000 hours of genealogical research that the DNA Doe Project believe that they have uncovered who this John Doe is after all this time. The dismembered John Doe is believed to be Joseph Henry Loveless, an outlaw born in 1870. He once escaped jail by soaring through the bars, and another time attempted to evade capture by, in an unspecified manner, managed to stop the train that was taking him to jail. He was eventually recaptured, only to escape again. Other reports and stories, using a variety of names, have been presented and recorded, with overlapping details. Those working at the DNA Doe Project have suggested that this was in fact the same man, Loveless, a theory that was later confirmed by the Clark County Sheriff's Office via police records. Experts believe that the man was 47 years old when his life was taken from him. When Loveless was found in the caves, his torso was uncovered in a burlap sack in 1979, and his limbs uncovered in 1991 by a young girl who was exploring. To this day, we have never found his head. Disappearance of Lauren Spira. Sometimes a disappearance doesn't end with a body that is found and identified. Sometimes we are left wondering, and families are left constantly searching, hoping and speculating about what could have happened to the victims. There are a good number of cases that have no definitive end in sight, and one such case that has piqued the interest of many is that of Lauren Spira. Despite national attention throughout the US news and media, we have no answers as to what happened to this young woman. Spira was a student at Indiana University when she went missing in 2011, following a night out at Kilroy's sports bar, enjoying the student life that many of us know all too well. The 20-year-old was with several friends throughout the evening, and though her boyfriend, Jesse Wolfe, was not present, he did state that he had sent several unanswered text messages to Spira before sleeping that evening. Between a number of eyewitness accounts and the video surveillance footage from several establishments and locations, an estimated timeline of what happened on the evening of June 3, 2011 has been reconstructed, providing key details that might contain some sort of clues within them. Some of the key events reported throughout the evening are that Spira left the bar with her friend Corey Rossman, where she was seen leaving without her shoes or her phone, both of which had been left at the bar. The following morning, boyfriend Jesse Wolfe received a text from the bar staff, at which point he reported Spira as missing. One stranger who passed her within her own apartment complex, the Smallwood Plaza Apartments, asked if she was okay and safe, having become concerned by just how intoxicated she seemed. Footage shows that she later left the Smallwood Plaza and moved towards Rossman's apartment, still accompanied by him. The pair walked down an alley, and it was through here that authorities found Spira's keys and purse. When the duo finally made it to Rossman's apartment, his roommate, Michael Beth, put Rossman safely to bed before encouraging Spira to spend the night. Apparently, she protested, wanting to sleep in her own apartment. Following this, Beth called their friend and his neighbor, Jay Rosenbaum, who had also been out prior that evening, asking him to check on Spira. She went to see Rosenbaum at his apartment, and he noticed a bruise under her eye but had no recollection about how it happened, though it is assumed she acquired this falling at some point during the evening. When Spira then left Rosenbaum's home, that was the last time Spira had been seen. When the police began their investigation, they looked at potential links between Lauren Spira's disappearance and the death of another student who attended the same university. She had also been fatally harmed following a night out, during which she had visited the same bar as Spira. However, in 2015, it was concluded that there was probably not any sort of relation between these two instances, and Daniel Messel has not been found to have any charges connected to Spira's disappearance. There are a good number of theories about what happened to her on that evening, though we likely won't ever know for certain. Her parents believe that there is a possibility that she had been drugged during the evening at Kilroy's. They have also made it known that they have a number of suspicions regarding the men their daughter had been out with that evening, as well as her boyfriend who was not present. They don't think it was a random abduction, but rather a planned and targeted attack. Spira's parents have not made any accusations, but the men acquiring lawyers and not taking police-issued polygraphs did raise concern. Later on, Spira's parents did file civil lawsuits against Rossman, Rosenbaum, and Beth, accusing them of negligence for continuing to provide her with more alcohol and failing to make sure she got back home safe. These were ultimately dismissed, and none of the men have been named suspects within Spira's disappearance. While the men didn't work closely with the Bloomington police, they did work with their lawyers and the FBI, completing polygraphs through other sources, having said that their reservations were fueled by their distrust of the Bloomington police. It's still being considered a possibility that a stranger may have abducted Lauren Spira, despite her parents stating that they do not believe this is the case. One key aspect of the case has been the root of many theories that Spira was a drug user. Her boyfriend's mother reported that Spira had been asked to leave a summer camp where she had met Wolfe and Rosenbaum a few years prior due to drug use. She had previous arrests and charges of both public intoxication and illegal consumption, and following her disappearance, authorities did uncover narcotics in her room. Rosenbaum reported to those conducting the investigation that in addition to the drinking, Spira snorted narcotics and crushed Klonopin tablets, a medication used to treat seizures and anxiety disorders, on the night that she disappeared. Some believe she could have accidentally overdosed, with the dangers being heightened due to her rare heart condition, long QT syndrome. Some have speculated that her friends that she was with that evening hid the body in an attempt to avoid criminal charges, though one investigator questioned if this was really motive enough. on a university campus, it's not far-fetched for overuse to happen or to go awry. There are so many possibilities, and we will most likely never know what happened to Lawrence Spira on that fateful night. But what are your thoughts? Be sure to let us know in the comment section below and help us grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.